The first question is, as the chairman of the Global IPv6 Forum, what significant change does IPv6 technology bring compared to the current IPv4 technology?
Yes, thank you for inviting me to this event. So basically we are moving from a research internet. So it was not designed to be a global internet. And we're moving into something which is not only transitional, but to something which is functional, which means that we're moving from a small internet village, highly successful, into a universe of the internet. Because the first time I came here to China for the IPv6 promotion in 2001, I discovered that China had only 8 million IP addresses for over 1 billion people. So it was very logical that we should do something about it. So it brings certain features which are very important. One is the scalability. So we're moving from just 4 billion IP addresses to 340 undecillion IPv6 addresses, which will last for at least another 200 to 300 years. So which is very important. With it, it's bringing also a certain level of security that we don't have yet in the internet, because a new function has been added, which is called network address translation. So we have forked the internet from end to end to just one end to nobody. So that's why you don't have an IP address yourself. So you're just a tourist on the internet. You're not a resident on the internet. And then you will have scalability. So you can introduce the internet to all kind of functionality, be it industry, academia, healthcare, in the agriculture. So there are many new topics that are going to be fundamental in the new IPv6-based internet.
Okay, thank you. And we come to the next. What stage is the global development and applicant of IPv6 currently at? And what role does China play in the global IPv6 ecosystem?
Well, let me give you the very good news. China is number one in the IPv6 internet in the world. It has now over 850 million people using IPv6 without knowing it. But in the future, when they will know, they will see that there is the end-to-end concept. So it's peer-to-peer internet. It's like having the phone numbers for each one. You will have an IP address for each person, but they can talk directly without going through somebody else. This is really very important to see that a country that didn't have the internet properly deployed back in 2001 to the world leader due to the various actions that have been taken by the government itself in the action plan for the deployment of IPv6 back then, together with basically the industry, so in this case, China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicom, supported by the vendors that have together put basically China as number one leader in the internet. So it's way more than 4 times the US and 5 times basically any country in Europe, with the exception of Germany, France, Belgium, the UK, that are also deploying IPv6 very well. And the US is in the 120 million IPv6 users. So China is now showing the model how to deploy new technologies, which makes now possible to introduce new killer application. And one of them is AI and blockchain. So these two require a peer-to-peer connection so that you know exactly where the source of the information is. As today, it's basically not sure that the information is true. So verification of the data will be fundamental. So the big data in the future will be instant data that is going to be used by, for instance, in this case, AI. And AI will be kind of oxygen to the internet. Okay?
Okay. Next question is, you are attending the Parallel Forum on two-way empowerment, innovation and development of network culture. What opportunities and challenges do you think the new generation of internet technology will bring to the innovation and development of network culture?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate the World Internet Conference for organizing many events in China, as well in Wuchen, which is going to happen next November from 5 to 9. And I will be there as well, as I've been there for the past couple of years. So basically, the action plan, together with CNGI and so on, have led the creation of WIC in order to promote new technologies. So it's a world unique opportunity that the internet has been now pushed by the government together with the industry in order to take leadership. So China is most probably a model for the rest of the world with the creation of such an initiative. And that we are here talking also about culture and heritage. And we had one last week in Shanxi talking about the Silk Road and how culture and society have been created a long time ago. So our ancestors had really a hard time in order to build civilization. So this event here is really fundamental in order to get people to think, what we can do with these new technologies. How can we digitize culture in the future? Especially that the end user is no more going to be just a visitor. It will be a creator of content. So this will enable the end users to be residents of the internet instead of just tourists today. So the concept of empowering people to create directly on the internet, just big data, instant data, which will be coming from all kind of edge devices, IoT devices, cloud computing, and so on and so forth. So we're entering a new era of how the internet will properly function compared to the current research internet.
And next is, you once said, every time I come to China, I don't need to convince anyone to do anything. In fact, it's often the opposite. China makes me believe in many things. Could you share a specific example of something China has made you believe in?
Well, thank you for doing research on my work I have done here in China. So basically, this is the biggest success story of the IPv6 Forum, where we have shown that while some other countries in the West are still talking about research, how to do IPv6 and so on and so forth, China has taken strong leadership in deploying it and showing how it is done properly. So in the past, even back in 2005, CERNET 2 deployed IPv6 for all students and the universities. So in the meantime, it has given a chance to a lot of students to become experts. As a matter of fact, China has now the best experts in new technologies, way beyond other countries, because they have done it. So this is a showcase for the world to look at how China has deployed protocols, even designed in the West, and they have been adopted in large scale. And that's why when I came here and met a lot of people, and at that time English was not a strong language here, but the efficiency and the talent that exists here, especially in Beijing, is very strong. I think it's the strongest in the world. So that's why I was very relaxed when I came here and people said, yeah, I think IPv6, we're going to do it. It was for us a showcase to the entire world. Look at this country that didn't have the internet, now is #1 on the internet. So it's a very big showcase to all of us how to deploy, in this case, all kind of killer applications. And the upcoming one is AI, blockchain, and all of these new technologies. So a new way of empowering the end user to become a producer, not anymore just a visitor. So we are in an absolute fantastic time for China to show its talent, expertise, as well accepting all kind of open source protocols around the world and make out of them something very, very productive and very immersed in the society itself. So I see a lot of talent whenever I come to this place, so I'm more relaxed. In the other countries, I have to sell a lot what you can do with IPv6. And when I come here, they sell me what you can do with IPv6. That's why I'm always the happiest man when I come to this place.
Okay, thank you. And one more question. What advantage does Beijing have in developing internet technology?
Well, this is what I was saying earlier on. So you need three things. One is talent. And Beijing is the center, obviously. It's the Silicon Valley for China, especially by having the government and all the technologies, so in this case, the telecom companies, as well as a strong university system from BOPT to Tsinghua University. So the talent has been cultured and the education has been added. And then due to the impulse and to the promotion by the government through their action plans over the last 2 decades have shown the fruits that from Beijing you can radiate technology across the whole country. So there are over 1.1 billion internet users. There are still about 300 to be covered, but I think it's getting there. While if you look at countries like India, they have very good access to IPv6 with around 50 million. But though the country has still about 800 million people that do not have internet access. So while India is really progressing very well, China has shown the world that you can do it in very large scale. And the last one is basically the adoption of new technologies is far more fundamental in a country like China because between the talent and the leadership from the government, basically there is a vision. And this is really fundamental to do that, which we are trying to create in the other countries, but it's very hard to do here, it's very flexible. So this flexibility is really fundamental to move into the far better internet for everyone in this case.
Mm-hmm. And last question. What do you think is the most important aspects of the future development trend of the integration of culture and technology?
Yeah, this is a very important function. As a matter of fact, when we look at the work of our ancestors, they have defined culture and they have defined ways of hope so that we can do fantastic things. Even in those days, it was very, very hard. You should know that people didn't live more than 25 years and they have built monuments that today it's very difficult to do the same thing. So the source of our ancestors, the work that has been done in Egypt or in Iraq in the past, in India, and in a bigger way in China, really shows us that culture is fundamental because it's the source, to create new talents, new institutions, how to civilize the society, and how to educate our kids. So kids are always fascinated by the history. And by digitizing the culture in the future in a big style, so we can put life into them. So we'll have a far better understanding, especially to the new generation, how people have worked very hard. And today it's a lot easier just to go to school and educate yourself. So the human being, every one of us has been basically created by nature. So we are a selected kind of, picked by nature to be the one on this planet. And as a matter of fact, we are the only lucky people that have been born on this society. And we should be very proud to be to have this chance. It's a lottery of human beings. Although we could have billions of people on this planet, but it's only us that have been selected to be here. So the work that you are doing now is really fundamental because you have been selected by nature to be in this thing. So the only thing we need is to give proper education to people and make it easier for everyone to have a chance and an opportunity for his life. So this is the purpose of the entire work that you and we are doing on this planet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
结束。
没有需要补录的镜头是可以的哈。
我有一个单独
And could you look at me and no, just a few times. Oh,
Should I
and
take
the
it
water. Oh, yeah.
他估计不来不了了，来不及了。不是，他8点半要入座，他那边都过不去了。
可以
换下面的嘉宾吧。
Yeah.
下面还有。
那静琪，你帮我问一个问题好吗？
好。
就让他简单说一下他这个对这个科技和文化融合的这个。
已经说了。
说了。
已经说了，补了。
那对本次文化论坛有什么期待？你让他。
And what the most you want to see in this forum?
Yeah, very good people and very open and full of intelligence and talent to show the world that the best success story that we have on this planet is happening here in China. So it should be, everyone should be associated with it. And I think WSE is doing a very good job to bring a lot of people from around the world, from especially developing countries, Africa, some in South Asia, as well as Latin America and so on. So, to get these people, to give them a hope, to do something together. And this is really fundamental, to promote a far better future for the world. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. 可以了。
It's okay?
I think.
没有。你们也不需要有补的镜头，就他马上要入座了啊，再赶紧让他给你出一点。
Just not. Yeah, not.
Cameras are covered.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you for the good questions. Thank you.